Hello again, I am Blunty. Get ready for a model number because meet the Lenovo LOQ 15i RX9. It has a classically sleek but practical Lenovo design on the outside, features a 14th generation Intel Core i7-14700HX series processor paired up with an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4060 graphics card. LOQ is Lenovo's branding for gaming laptops that balance gaming needs with friendly price points, and Lenovo have asked me to give it a once-over in this sponsored video. Quite happy to do so, by the way. Some of you long-time viewers remember a fistful of years back, I had an ongoing sponsorship with Lenovo Legion. I got to spend a lot of time sort of hands-on with a bunch of their stuff, even spent time chatting to their engineers and all. Suffice to say, I like their stuff, and in particular, how they balance design and grunt. Look at this, slick. It's slick. But there's looking and then there's doing, so let's run down the hardware basics first. The screen is a very pleasant 15.6-inch IPS panel, 1440p resolution, and you can push it all the way up to 165 Hz refresh rate. In other words, basically, exactly the right screen for laptop gaming, humping out of a GTX 4060 and the Intel CPU. Speaking of which, I've not done much traveling recently, which means it's the first time I've gone hands-on with the new Intel Core 14th generation mobile processors, and I have to say, I like them. The one in here is the Intel Core i7-14700HX from a family of architecture you might have heard called Raptor Lake, which badass code name, by the way. It's actually a 20-core CPU. 8 of those cores are performance cores and 12 are efficiency cores. Altogether, they pile up for a total of 28 threads. That's pretty serious. The performance cores are basically the same type of CPU core we're all quite used to and have been for quite some time now. The more recent addition of efficiency cores into the architecture are there to maximize energy efficiency for less intensive tasks. Very clever design. I haven't had a lot of time to really put this through its paces, but first impressions, yeah, you can absolutely see why this is a good idea. The extra life you can pull from the battery is significant indeed. Speaking of, something else I really like here is Lenovo have engineered something they call Rapid Charge Pro. Fast charging, in other words. A lot of us already know what a lifesaver this tech is on our phones, but here the 60 watt-hour battery can slam up a 50% charge in as little as 30 minutes on the charger. Something that actually came in clutch when I was filming some of the B-roll for this very video because someone didn't charge it beforehand, even though he knew he had to film some stuff for it. So hooray for Rapid Charge Pro. Needed it. I needed it. The keyboard is a low-profile white backlit job. There's also a 4-zone RGB thing, if you like. It feels pretty nice. I like that the arrow keys are a little sort of popped out down there. Too many laptops have these sort of mushed in awkwardly. It even has a full-size numpad too. Audio-wise, a pair of 2-watt speakers teamed with Nahimic audio gives you a lot of control. They're crisp sounding with a decent max volume. They don't distort even when you do max them out. But, of course, as gamers, the ideal is headphones, and behold, a headphone port, just as our ancestors spoke of. Which brings us to the I/O stuff, conveniently enough. Next to the headphone port, on the right side, you find a USB-A port, a switch to manually kill the webcam for privacy confidence like that, and a USB-C port capable of 10 gigabits per second, and it has a power delivery capability of up to 140 watts, which is very impressive. And it supports DisplayPort 1.4, very useful. Around back, another pair of USB-A ports, HDMI out, Ethernet, and the power connector. So we're pretty well set up as far as I/O goes. Software-wise, Lenovo have some cleanly designed software to manage cooling and power and whatnot, including the ability to use some onboard AI hardware to auto-detect when you're gaming to tune it all up automatically for you. Neat. Or you can craft your own custom settings, of course, which I like to do because I like to fiddle, because I'm a nerd. You can also flick a switch to manually give the GPU some extra juice, tweak network performance, and even lock the touchpad. All things you might want to do and have quick access to while you're gaming. I mean, the touchpad is fine. Quite nice, actually. Good feel, good size, good click. But what kind of lunatic games with a touchpad? So being able to lock it out while you're gaming with a mouse so a stray palm touch or whatever won't doink you around in-game is really nice. Wrap it all up though, and under actual real world use, I was genuinely very happy with it. That 14th generation Intel Core i7-14700HX series processor was very snappy while video editing, so whatever Intel's hybrid architecture and thread director stuff is doing under the hood to keep things running clean and efficient is working really nicely. I was quite impressed with how quickly and smoothly it was all handling stuff that, you know, all the common stuff I do with editing, very pleasantly fast on crunching the common tasks like stabilization calculations, and zippy on export and encoding. I'd happily take this on the road as a work rig. But of course, it is sold as a gaming laptop. So how does it fare under those conditions? Well, in a word, very nicely. Again, just nice. The NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4060 follows in the footsteps of its fellow, something 60 ancestors in being the absolute sweet spot for gaming performance without doinking the budget too much. And when I say budget, I mean either the monetary budget or the power budget, because you got to balance those two. Cooling, which is a twin fan setup, kept itself sensible, and the games just flowed across that 165 Hz 1440p screen real nicely. And of course, it is a 40 series GPU, so you've got all NVIDIA's latest tricks and techno sorcery if and when you need them to really push things up an extra notch. And of course, the screen panel is an NVIDIA G-Sync one, so you're always going to be feeding out rock-solid, tear-free experiences. What else? Other numbers you need to know. As you'd expect, it has Wi-Fi 6, Bluetooth 5.2, and it clocks in at 2.38 kilograms, which for moving around with feels pretty much as you'd expect a laptop like this to feel. Not what I'd call hefty, but not some sort of crazy featherweight thing either. It feels solid, robust. You know, oh geez, it is very robust. I tried to flex it then, and I was expecting to flex a little bit. No, bloody hell. Nice. But, you know, all of that is kind of par for the course, as my previous experience with Lenovo Legion laptops has been. I really do like their industrial design. It's slick without looking sort of overcooked. It's not too pretentious, not too gamery. It's just clean, right? So yeah, thank you to Lenovo Legion for sponsoring this look at the Lenovo LOQ 15i RX9. Not the world's most catchiest model number, but it is what it is. And of course, as always, with any sponsored video I do, I value my reputation for earnest and honesty and no BS very, very much, which means I stand by everything I say to you. It's not in my interest to say anything that isn't honest here, because all it's going to do is harm me in the long run. So when I tell you I would honestly, happily use this laptop for travel and work and gaming, I mean it. I would, happily. And if you're looking for something that ticks, those kind of boxes, I'd encourage you to consider this one. Links will be in the down below, of course, so you can dive in further. There is a bunch of stuff I didn't, find space to cram into this particular video. Very much worth taking a peek at, so hit that link up in the down below. So thanks for watching. I am Blunty. We'll catch you next time. Thank you, as always, to the patrons scrolling away up above there, whose above and beyond support is very much valued.